So I actually want to talk a little bit about the differences between marketing, strategy, and finance, and what it actually means when you get different degrees in those particular areas, particularly if you are thinking of going into a doctoral program and thinking of doing that. So if you don't know me, I'm Professor Dave Massack. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I wanted to pay the favor forward to help you out. I'm going for my morning run, and I realize that my hair is a little crazy, but you're going to love it. Please leave some comments below if you like it. So the key thing to remember between doing finance, marketing, strategy, and even if you're doing other areas like information systems or management information systems or whatever you're thinking of, is that there's a lot of nuances to all of them, and they are all pretty unique, but at the same time, there's a lot of basics that are that they all sort of revolve around. And the basics that I think people forget about is we're really just studying human beings, and we're studying how humans interact with their environment. So organizations, businesses are really not necessarily some sort of scary thing in any sort of way where that they're all out to make money and those particular things. But really what they're doing is they're grouping together different individuals to rearrange resources that we have access to in different ways. And so because of that, all of those different fields, they kind of overlap, and they're kind of talking about similar things, where they are really interested in how human beings rearrange resources to get some sort of benefit from those particular things. And so because of that they're so similar, and they're all talking about similar things. Sorry, I'm looking at the stairs right here as we go down to the ocean. Take a look at that. Beautiful, right? So as we talk about different things in different ways, we kind of overlap in a lot of different things. And so whereas finance will often talk about the market, and that is in the interaction between multiple players or multiple individuals that are doing similar things, and they're really interested in how this interaction happens. Marketing might be thinking about how can we rearrange these different resources so that other people might be more attracted to those particular things. And in strategy might be interested in, well, let's figure out how to rearrange the resources inside of an organization where it's, maybe it's just one individual, or maybe it's 10,000 or 100,000 individuals, figuring out how to rearrange these things such that you can not only produce more of those particular things or produce them in a better way, but also figure out how to get other people attracted to them. So we all are talking about similar things, and we're really just talking about human beings. So what I can say is that the similarities between them are striking. There's a lot of overlap between all of them. And the key thing to remember, I think, if you're thinking of doing a degree in any one of those particular things, is to focus on the fact that none of them are going to provide the whole picture. And what you should be looking at is taking a little bit more of a holistic view on what the world looks like. And many of us actually do that. We'll read broadly. If you're doing a doctoral program in a particular area, we don't just read one particular thing. That's not what you do. You read very broadly, and you focus on all different aspects of how organizations function or whatever you're looking at. And the other thing to remember I think this is the vital, most important thing, is that even though that you get into specific areas or you might be interested in certain things, what you're looking for is not the area in general. What you're looking for is finding people that are interesting, that you can work with, that are good people, that really enjoy pursuing things and investigating different things, but at the same time are kind and generous people with who they are. Because when you're in a doctoral program, you really need that support. You really need to feel like you can do things and that you have support to do those particular things. So that's why you need a lot of kind and generous people around you so that you feel that way. And the other thing I need to point out is, while it's not, you don't see this all the time, it's not unusual for people that are talented to go in any one of those areas, and it doesn't matter what those particular things are. So, professors and researchers, they might, at one school, they might be sold as a marketing professor, and then at another school, they're sold as a strategy professor or a finance professor. And it doesn't necessarily matter what they're called. They're just called in different ways. So if you're investigating a specific phenomenon that might be of interest to all of those areas, so let's say you're interested in crowdfunding, for example. Well, people in finance would be curious about how crowdfunding works. So they might be interested in how do we price things properly with a crowdfunding platform. And you might investigate that. But then somebody in strategy might be interested, well, how do these platforms, how do they perform, or what's the differences between different platforms in terms of ensuring that people actually want to give on these different crowdfunding platforms. And that might be a strategy perspective. So what I'm getting at with this video is to not get hung up on the fact that there are these names and the sort of disciplinary sort of approaches. They're real. The publishing in them are very different in terms of what it looks like to actually publish in these different journals in different research areas. Some of them are easier, some of them are harder. They just have different styles and what they're expecting, the amount of work that goes into all of these different things. But what you have to realize is that you're all investigating the same thing. And we just approach those different things or that thing in just different ways. So don't get caught up on that, and look for people that are really just nice, genuine human beings that will actually work with you and just be nice, generous human beings themselves, so that you can go on and prosper in those particular areas. So with that, that's all I want to talk about today, is to realize that we're all studying the same thing. And we're just studying in different ways. And then what you need is a team behind you that is generous and helpful and really wants to see you succeed. All right, so that's it. That's all I want to talk about. Good luck, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.